What's your top 10 most anticipated list? Here's mine. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, yes, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you Mike Spider Slayer's top 10 most anticipated comics of the week, and this is for the week of January 23rd, 2019. And of course, guys, this is the video series where, yes, I show you my top 10 most anticipated comics of the week. Guys, if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And feel free to put in your top 10 most anticipated, or top 5 most anticipated, or even your top 3 most anticipated comics. I'm looking forward to all those comments below. So, without further ado, let's not waste any more time, and let's get started with this countdown. So every week before I actually start the top 10, I go with the book that's currently kind of on the fence right now. And this time, it goes to Batman. That's right, guys. Batman, issue 63 is on the hot seat. It's just the book right now that I'm just not enjoying. I enjoyed it a lot more when it came to the whole Selina Kyle thing, and I've said it many times before. But this last issue had to do with Professor Pig and Bruce dealing with a nightmare, and he finds out that Professor Pig is Damian, you know. And we've gotten a lot of issues like this with Batman when it comes to like a stall factor with Tom King. It's like got this lots of poetry and things like that, but there's no real clear story direction here. He kind of seems lost on what he's going to do. We got this kind of story going on with Bane. Obviously, we had Selina left. Is she going to come back? Like, we got all these little things, but nothing's really happening, and I'm just not enjoying the story as much. Now, the book that I am enjoying with Batman is Detective Comics. This book is just not hitting it for me right now, so it's on the fence. I'm extremely considering dropping it for now until it gets better, but I don't know if I ever will, because I've literally have every Batman issue since I restarted getting into comics right when DC Rebirth came out, so I don't know if I will actually drop it, but maybe I just won't read it until then, so we'll see. Alright, so moving forward now to the official countdown, we're going to go on to my number 10 most anticipated comic. And now you guys might be a little bit surprised by this, but this is Naomi issue 1, written by the great Brian Michael Bendis. And we guys know how I feel about Bendis, about writing way too many books right now. However, this character could be interesting, right? We get Superman and we get Mongol crash into her hometown, and they do this battle against each other. So this kind of sparks her to kind of find out her own origin story, why superheroes haven't been in this town, where she's from, about her adoption, and things like that. And it brings her into the like of the DC universe. So it looks interesting. It sounds interesting. Will I be in it for the long term? I don't know. That's why it's kind of number 10 on my list, but it's there. Again, it's $3.99. It's not overpriced, so we'll see how that issue or story goes. Alright, moving on to number 9, and my number 9 most anticipated comic this week goes to Crypt of Shadows, issue 1. That's right. This is a Marvel book. It's a horror comic, and I love horror comics. This is $3.99, and it's to celebrate some of these old stories that Marvel came out with within its 80-year history. And horror comics are a lot of fun. I love the Ice Cream Man. I loved, like, Tales of Terror when that series was good. You got Tales from the Crypt comics, those old things. So this is something that supposedly is in the horror vault of Marvel, and they describe that some things should never be released from the vault. So I'm very curious to see what tales they're going to release to the readers, how graphic this book can be, how scary it's going to be. So I like how Marvel is putting out this horror book, because you don't see too much of that from them. All right, so moving on to number 8. Now, who's excited about this book? This is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, issue 1, $3.99. This is done by Boom Studios. They have the property, taking it over from Dark Horse now. And I think this might be a good jumping on point for readers that maybe have never read Buffy before. But I think for long-term fans, you're going to see changes in this series. It's kind of reimagined a bit. It's going to feel familiar, but it's going to be a little bit different. And so I'm excited for it, because I think a lot of fans might have fallen off of Buffy because it just kept on continuing and continuing and continuing, but there was no real jumping on point for people to understand Buffy and the back history and things like that. I'm not a huge Buffy fan, but I do find the series intriguing, and I love the original movie. I did watch some of the TV show on CW, but I love the original movie, so I'm looking forward to this. Can't wait to see what happens. All right, next on the list, guys, is my number 7 pick, and this goes to Superior Spider-Man issue 2. Now, Superior Spider-Man was good the last issue, the first issue, but it just wasn't great for me. It didn't give me that wow factor, so that's why maybe this might be a little bit lower on my list, but I still find it intriguing. I find Doc Ock an excellent character. I've said it before. I love the way he speaks. I love his character. He was trying to hide from Anna Marie in the last issue because he obviously has that new body and new younger face and things like that. But Anna Marie called him out, and she now knows that Superior Spider-Man is Otto Octavius. And so now he has to do battle in this issue against Terrax, which I think is kind of cool because I love Terrax as a cosmic villain. And it's going to be interesting to see this battle between the two and how Superior Spider-Man's going to pull off this victory. I want to see it. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be a lot of fun. Now, my worries about this book is what direction are they going to go with it? What's the long term? What's the end game? What's going to happen in this series? But very much looking forward to it. So that was my number 7. Let's move on to number 6. Number 6 this week goes to Immortal Hulk, issue 12. $3.99 book. This is Hulk in Hell Part 2. So who would have thought that in an Incredible Hulk book, or in a Hulk book in general, it would get this weird, right? Did you ever expect this from a Hulk book, for Hulk to end up in hell? And now he's got to battle his way, I guess, back out of hell? And now he goes against some, I don't know, looks like weird creature based off of what's on the cover. This book has just gotten really crazy and really weird. It's an interesting take on the character. I quite enjoy it, though. It's a lot of fun. Seeing skinny, flabby Hulk is funny. And but I want to know, what's this entity that he's actually battling in hell, and how does he get out of this? So, interesting story here. So, that's my number 6. Let's move on to my top 5. So, my top 5 goes to, or my number 5 goes to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man issue 2. Now, I heard lots of people dislike this issue. They thought the artwork was bland, the story was hated, and all I can say, guys, is give this book a real try, okay? You know, I got a lot of slack for Green Lantern, the first issue, and people are like, Mike, you gotta keep reading it, you gotta try it, don't only, you know, read one issue and dismiss it, you know, cardinal rule of comics, give it at least 3 to 4 issues, okay? And you know what? After listening to the fans, I did. I am still currently reading Green Lantern. Now, do I enjoy it? Not really. It's just not my take on Green Lantern. It's just not what I enjoy, but I listen to the fans, and I'm still currently reading it because Hal Jordan is a favorite character of mine, and I kind of want to see what's going on in his universe. So when it comes to Spider-Man, I get it, guys. There's a lot of Spidey books out there. So if it doesn't pique your interest, you're very most likely going to drop it, especially if you don't have the funds for it. So I understand. But to get a true feel of what Tom Taylor is going for in this book, I feel like you should read a few issues, see what's going on here. Last issue, we had this neighbor that Peter was trying to help. She was captured. She left some weird baby-like kids in a laundry basket. Now Peter's forced to take care of them. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. The backup story was interesting with Aunt May, how she possibly could have cancer. What's the long-term effects? Is this going to integrate into the main story? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm definitely giving this a try because of Tom Taylor's track record, and I have trust that he'll do justice for the character. All right, so moving on to number 4. And number 4 goes to Uncanny X-Men Annual. This is issue 1. Excuse me. $4.99 book for 36 pages. So all I can say in this book is we're done with the whole weekly event. I think a lot of people are happy with that. And now in the annual, we're going to get the return of Cyclops. The last time you got to see Cyclops was in Extermination at the end on the last page. And Cable, young Cable, says it's time to return. And so now we're going to get Cyclops coming back in Uncanny X-Men. And hopefully the Uncanny X-Men series will feel like X-Men again, because we're getting a bunch of new X titles coming out in February. There's literally at least one every week, possibly 2 on any given week. So whether you're not going to pick up all those titles, you know, that's up to you, but there's going to be like 5 of them, and one of them is going to be Nightcrawler, and I can't see a lot of people picking up a Nightcrawler comic, so we'll see what happens. All right, so moving on to my top 3, and my number 3 book this week goes to Shazam issue 2, $3.99 price point. And the first book was really cool. I love Jeff Johns' writing. I love the art that went with it in this book too by Dan Inglesam. I think it was awesome. The cool thing about this book is we get Billy Batson uncovers a secret deep in the Rock of Eternity that's going to send him on like this dangerous mission, and of course it's going to affect his family. It could separate his family, and I think that's what makes this book so special, is the family aspect in Shazam. So I think that excuse me, this issue is going to be key on the whole family aspect. I love all the personalities of the entire family as well. And hopefully, obviously, we learn more secrets and things like that. So, story's just getting started in Shazam. Can't wait to see what happens there. Alright, so moving on to my number 2 most anticipated comic of the week. And that goes to Teen Titans, issue 26, $3.99. I love this book. And if you guys watch my group channel, Comic Frontline, we have a live show every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And I talked about Teen Titans and I talked about Young Justice. And I feel like Teen Titans is the ultimate teen book right now. It's my favorite teen book in comic books in general at the moment, followed by Champions. And when it comes to Teen Titans, I feel like that book is done right. How everyone is incorporated perfectly. They don't actually single out certain characters. They're all a team. They all have their own story. And then when the time is right, they put kind of like a origin story or something in there, because in the last issue we got to see the origin of Crush and where she came from, and then we get to see what happened to Roundhouse when he disappeared for a couple issues. So they sprinkle things in there throughout the series as it goes on. And I'm going to be comparing that formula to the Young Justice on what Brian Michael Bendis does with Young Justice going forward. So I'm really much looking forward to this. Now the story in this one is that we have the Titans, they're breaking into the Batcave. So what's so important on Damian's mind that he's got to break into the Batcave. Like, this is kind of an act of betrayal, and they got to get through this whole security system and things like that. So that makes for an interesting read. I'm very much looking forward to it. It seems like the Titans are still working out their issues a little bit here and there, but they're starting to understand each other more, and that's what I like about that, that they all have issues and they're trying to learn from each other, and they're becoming a really solid team with each other. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, so now we move on to my number one pick, or most anticipated pick of the week, and that goes to, like this video, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget. All right. So again, put in the comments below what is your most anticipated book of the week. And for me, this goes to Guardians of the Galaxy issue 1, written by Donny Cates. That's right, fans. I am looking forward to this book just because it's got all these cosmic people or heroes, villains, whatever you want to call it, in this one issue. Now, whoever are the Guardians by the time we get to the end of this book, that's still yet to be determined, or, you know, we'll get that in later issues. But for this number one issue, it looks like you're going to have all types of characters in there, where it's Peter Quill and Darkhawk and Cosmic Ghost Rider and Beta Ray Bill and just all these different characters, Groot. I mean, they're there. And I think having them all in a book is going to be quite interesting. And I want to see this new take on Guardians. And I think if there's a person that can do it, it's Donny Cates. He's written Cosmic Ghost Rider. I think he's actually going to be in a separate book. You know, going forward, he's not going to be part of the Guardians, but there's a reason why he created Cosmic Ghost Rider, and he wants him in this universe. That's been made ever since he did the run on Thanos. But very much looking forward to this book. So that's my number one pick of the week. So there you guys have it. There are my top 10 most anticipated comics of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, put it in the comments below on what your favorite most anticipated books are. And fans, as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, all the comments. If you watch it on Premiere, it's great to have you guys watch it there so you can chat amongst each other. I think that's really cool. I try to pop in when I can. And fans, as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a single video from me. And guys, until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Take care, fans. Bye.